Hello guys and welcome to the first tips video of 2024, round 0. So obviously this is a bit shorter to start off with given there's only 4 matches, first one being tonight, but let's get into it. So obviously last week I got 0 tips and 0 Ollie's calls because there was no last week. So I guess we should just move into the first game. First game tonight, SCG 7:30pm, Thursday. Sydney, Melbourne. Now this is actually, I looked at the odds, it's a pretty even game. As in Melbourne obviously finished top 4 last year, but coming off the disappointment of losing straight sets. Sydney made finals, knocked out in the elimination finals at the SCG though, a ground where they're pretty strong. Let's look at their notable recruits. So for Sydney, they've got Brodie Grundy playing against his most recent former side. He was only there for a year, so pretty surprising that he's already moved. But the whole Gawn saga, he played in the VFL. Taylor Adams, who will not be playing tonight as he's carrying an injury, but he moved from Collingwood. And James Jordan moved from Melbourne as well, just looking for more opportunity. For Sydney, I've got their later projection, where I think they will finish. I feel like they're not going to finish any higher than top 4. But I feel like they should make finals and they're not going to finish any lower than 10th. Looking at Melbourne, their notable recruits, Tom Fullerton from Brisbane, I'm pretty sure he's an emergency tonight. Jack Billings, Platt from St Kilda is playing tonight, and Shane McAdam from Adelaide is not playing. So they're their 3 notable recruits. And their ladder prediction, after coming off straight sets, I can't see them finishing top 2. But they're still going to be there and about. They might pinch 8th or just sneak in, but who knows really heading into the season. But in the end, I feel like I'm going to tip Sydney by 10 points. With my Ollie's call that Brodie Grundy has 90 plus fantasy points, being the sole ruckman at Sydney. Whereas Melbourne, the games where he wasn't ruckman with Gawn, which I think was basically non-existent, he looked good, whereas his average has just been terrible because he was sharing with Gawn. Moving on to the next game, Brisbane Carlton at the Gabba, 7:40pm Friday. Brisbane, their notable recruits, Tom Dodie moving from Adelaide. I don't think he's going to be fit for the first round because he did his ACL about midway through last season, so I don't think he'll be playing. And Brandon Ryan from Hawthorn, who's only played a couple of games, made a good debut against St Kilda last year though, so it could be a good pickup, but I don't reckon he'll play round 1. And for the Lions this year, I can't see them finishing out of the top 8 or top 6 for that fact, but I think they're a very good chance to win the grand final and finish top 2. So that's, what I think. And then for Carlton, notable recruits, they've only got the one. Elijah Hollands, come to join his brother from the Gold Coast. Didn't get heaps of opportunity up on the Gold Coast, so maybe thinks he'll get a bit more down at Carlton. Maybe play better with his brother, but it'll be interesting to see if he plays round 1. Blues, similar to the Lions, had a great finish to the season last year, and I feel like I can't see them finishing any lower than out of the top 8, but they do have the potential to finish first. Unfortunately for them, I think they're missing Sam Walsh in the first couple of rounds, but I still think the Blues can win by 22. They've got a very good midfield with Cripps, Chera, got Mackay, Curnow, 2 Coleman winning forwards. They've got Weeding, who I think's out injured at the moment, but I think they've got the talent to win by 22. And my Ollie's call is Brisbane kick 4+ first quarter goals. I think Brisbane are fast starters. They have Danaher, Hipwood, Charlie Cameron likes to score a few, Lincoln McCarthy. So I feel like they'll have a good first quarter, but then just fade out for the rest of the match. Moving on to the third match, Gold Coast Richmond at Heritage Bank Stadium, 4:20 p.m. Saturday. Notable recruits for Gold Coast are non-existent. Dimmer obviously hasn't looked at recruiting yet, as in they do have a good draft package with the likes of Ethan Reid and a couple of other from Gold Coast. They had quite a good draft selection, and then they've got like Bailey Humphrey and a couple of other young players. Matt Rowell is really looking like it's the season for him, finally injury free. He's had a couple of seasons to get some experience. I feel like with Dimmer on board, they can finish top 8. So I reckon their prediction is 6 to 12. So I think they can do it. I think they can do it for the first time ever. Richmond, notable recruits, Jacob Kaczynski from Hawthorn. Will he play round 1? I reckon so, but he could miss out. They've got a hole to fill though with Jack Freewell, but they do have Tom Lynch fit again. Ladder projection wise, 8 to 16. They've lost a few retirees. They're pretty old, most of their players, like Cochin, who's retired, so that doesn't matter. But Martin's getting old, so 8 to 16. They could scrape into 8th, but I think it's going to be pretty average season for Richmond this year. That's why I'm tipping Gold Coast by 5 points in the Damien Hardwick Cup, with Noah Anderson having 25 plus disposals. I reckon he's going to really have a breakout season. And then the next game is GWS Collingwood, which should be an interesting game, but I reckon it will definitely be close, no doubt about that. So, what I reckon, Giant Stadium, 7:30 p.m. Saturday. Notable recruits for GWS, none. They haven't had too many big losses, but they've got some very good talent in their midfield and forward line. Jesse Hogan's finally starting to live up to his potential. Tom Green is basically an all-Australian class midfielder, and he's only in his early 20s. Toby Green, obviously coming off an amazing season, be hoping to do that again. So for their ladder projection, they were 1 point off a grand final. So, and I don't think they're going to go down. So really, I think the lowest they can finish is 10th, but I can't see them finish. I can see them finishing first, to be honest. Then for Collingwood, notable recruits Lockie Schultz, but that was in trade of Jack Ginnivan. Well, it was kind of Ginnivan decided to leave after Collingwood got Schultz, so Schultz, he'll just fill Ginnivan's spot. He won't add much more than Ginnivan, but he's a good player. He's a solid player coming from Fremantle. Ladder prediction, they've got a very good list. They've got Nick Dacos, Josh Dacos, Scott Penderbury. Can he reach 400 games this year? Tom Mitchell, still side bottom. So they've got a very good midfield. Good forward line with Mychek. Even though he's not your average tall forward, he's still an amazing player. So I reckon they can't finish any lower than 5th, to be honest. I think they're a good chance for the Premiership to go back to back. So obviously I think they can finish first. And then Ollie's call in that match is GWS leader all changes. So I think GWS it's going to be close, but they'll just be leading. Thanks for watching my tips video. I hope you're happy and excited that I'm back into the weekly tips videos, and see you for round 1.